Shall we get this fired up here? Whoop. Let me fix that camera up a little bit. That's a lot better. How's everybody doing? Hey, good to see ya. Getting my crap figured out here. Just got in off the bike, so I got buzzy hands. Hell yeah, this is Nerd Hangout, Nerd Central. So, look at some cool crap here real quick. Get started out. So this is, my antennas. I got them up. Nerds. Yeah, so I got the satellite antennas up. Before we go into that, we have the traditional PBR ASMR beer crack. Oh yeah. Beautiful weather in Denver. It's like 60 or 65 right now. So, yeah, I got my antennas up on the pole. They're all wired up. I don't have the elevation rotator connected to the little controller thingy, that over there. So I just hooked up the manual rotator box and turned that up like 25 degrees or so. So we've got to align some things. Also run some new coax cables, but it works. I worked 6 contacts, something like that. Yeah, on that pass. So I was very excited for it. So around 38 minutes past the hour, we might be able to make an attempt at SO50 here. It's going to come right over Denver. But until then, I want to play a little bit with some Arduino code, because I've got this controller set up, and it's sort of working. It's a little off. Really, the problems that I'm having are more related to like sensors being jumpy and stuff like that. So one of the things that I wanted to do tonight is to play around with the code, because basically what's happening is, you see right now it's very stable. But say I turn it up to like, I don't know, 220 or so. Let's just go 270. Also, that encoder is kind of jumpy. But you see how the azimuth jumps around so much. It goes in big steps. And so I think it's like kind of shaking and vibrating when it's actually spinning. So I was talking to people in Slack earlier about possibly figuring out a way to like add like some averaging or smoothing to the sensor readout, so that it's not quite so jumpy. So I don't care about updates for my libraries. I'm not touching the libraries. Yeah. So that's the debug dump. That's not what I need. Yeah, here we go, I think. So they have this janky code for this smoothing factor here, and it's supposed to be 1 to 99.9. Does not seem to work well. I'm going to open up another Chrome tab over on my other monitor here. So one thing I'm trying to figure out is the best way to average this stuff out. Like I could just do like an array with like the last 10 values and do an average. But somebody in Slack had a really good idea. They put forth the notion of check the bounds of the difference between the old value and the new value. Yeah, some of the sampling is weird. This is actually a LSM 303 accelerometer chip up on the roof. So it's just outputting I2C. So I don't have any like analog hackery or any debouncing to kind of lean on here. Yeah. It's fairly linear. I've had to make a correction table to kind of get things lined up. It seems to not like being within like 20 degrees of north. It just outputs kind of weird values. So I have it calibrated. And it's not even like it's off or anything. It just it seems to be like 30 degrees off calibration. And I checked for declination. It's only 12 degrees here. I already have that factored in. But like when I'm pointed straight north, it says I'm at 330. And then when I'm spin it all around and bring it back to like 2 degrees, it reads 2 degrees. So there's just this little region where it's not happy. But I got it working to where it's within 10 degrees or so, according to my phone little compass, which I mean it's basically the same chip. So who knows how far off that is? But what I'm thinking here is to get some sort of basically limit in place. So if we think about it, the rotator takes 60 seconds to make a full revolution. It's a 1 RPM motor, give or take. So in theory, it should not be moving more than 6 degrees every second or 0.6 degrees every sample period, which is 100 milliseconds. So what I'm thinking about doing is basically we have the raw azimuth here and we have a previous raw here. They try to do some crap with a smoothing factor here. Like you can kind of tell like it's just like a two item weighted average. And I tried playing with the different smoothing factors. Doesn't particularly seem to be super useful or good. So I think that what I'm gonna do, I need to see what I'm thinking is take the difference of the previous and the current, take the absolute value of that. If that is greater than what's expected, so it's like greater than 0.6, these are in degrees, cap it at 0.6, whatever it is. I think that might do it. So I'm going to play around with it a little bit here. So I'm going to comment out this wacky code here. And then where is that previous raw defined? That's for encoders. Okay. It just sets it to the same thing at the start of the sketch. Go back to that Pololu code, because that's the library for the sensor that I'm using here. There we go. And it's just so I can find it later, because this code is very spaghetti. I didn't write it. So we want to do something like if, and then the absolute of is greater than, I'm going to just do greater than 1 degree. So I'm pulling 10 times a second, so that's like 40% faster than the rotator can go. So it's a safe limit. Definitely if it jumps 10 degrees or something, this should catch it. And then need to figure out how much to change it. Wondering if maybe instead of absolute, I just run 2 ifs and test if it's greater or lesser. Because it can go in both directions, right? And that way we can cap it. Something like this. Yeah, that'll cap it. And then we just... You'll sanity check me if I'm being a dumbass here. These are all floats. There we go. That should help. You can tell I like to use the little anchor things to find code. That's not in the stock at all. So what I'm not seeing here, where they're setting, because if you have the previous raw to use as a reference point, there's got to be a loop somewhere in this code, right? I guess the whole thing loops. And you need to have that set to the raw before you go through the polling. Let's make sure that they actually did that. Commented out. We know it's not that. It's incremental encoder stuff. So, okay. So they do set it earlier on there. So I think we're good. So this should cap it at 1 degree max per difference. And then we'll go to the settings here. Hey Butcher, good to see you. We's writing code. Looking for the polling time on the sensor. There we go. Okay, so it's at 200 milliseconds. So what I want to see here is I want to validate my code, make sure it works. Butcher, what are you up to tonight? Cool, still compiles. Let's see what dumb shit this does. I believe internally it uses tenths. So even though it kind of wiggles back and forth a little bit, I think we'll still be okay. I'm just worried about it like crawling up or something like that when it's... Yeah, see what it's doing there. Interesting. It's definitely going up about 10 degrees a second. Yeah, it's definitely... Okay, that code's definitely bad. That's interesting concept, yeah. Yeah. It was interesting because it consistently went up. Yeah. We're tuned to 706 degrees on the antenna heading there. Okay. So that's still playing nicely. And I have the knob and I actually just have a left and right switch that I set up. We got about 15 minutes, and then we're going to hop on and check for a satellite. Like I said, SO50 is me flying over. So we're going to let this thing auto track, and we'll watch it as we yell into the void and hopefully maybe make a contact. If nothing else, we'll just listen. But I've got things tilted up about 25 or 30 degrees out there. And it's like let me take a look. It's a 67 degree pass. So this is going to be doing a whole bunch of work right around the middle of the pass. Basically anything that's higher than like 50 degrees peak elevation or so, it's got to basically constantly turn. So it's going to be doing tons of corrections. So we're going to see how it goes. What I'd really like to try to avoid with this is to not do like back and forth whiplash, because we're just basically tuning. Like this is kind of a PID circuit, really. It can only change, in theory, 6 degrees a second. And we're trying to maintain a set point, which is our desired heading, by sending left and right outputs to the rotator. And I don't want to have too much wiggle, because there's 15 pounds of antenna and mast and all that has to turn every time you turn that motor on. So I have some it's not even fighting that. It's just that when the motor is running and this thing is moving, the sensor seems less accurate. So it seems like it's kind of jumping around a little bit. And I've looked at it, and it seems to be moving very, very smoothly. I don't think belts will do it. Maybe, yeah. I could, yeah. I mean, it'd take a lot of setup work, but I could see. But I think it's just sensor noise, basically. So I need to figure out different approaches to try to denoise that input. What's up, Burge? You hanging out on them VODs, watching those replays? Yeah. I think I got bit by a bug or something when I was out riding, which is weird because Colorado doesn't have bugs. Anyways, let's see, 15 minutes still. Yeah, Matty on demand. Hey, Thumbquat, good to see you. Yeah, I thought about the interference from the motor, and it very well could be that. So that's something that I'm considering too. Let me play with this a little bit. Let's just set the threshold for that code really high. We got a few minutes before the satellite comes over. That'll cap it at 1 if it jumps more than 5 degrees. Let's see what this does. Oh yeah, let's take their weird smoothing shit out. And upload. See if it settles. No, not at all. So why is my code doing that? It's just spinning around. It's not actually turning, fortunately. We just have sensor errors. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get noise out of the sensor. When this thing is turning, it seems to sometimes jump like 5 or 10 degrees, on like subsequent reads, and it's physically not possible that can happen. And what happens is when this thing is under automatic control, there's a lot of machine inputs to turn just like 3 or 4 degrees. So sometimes it can kind of hunt and find the right bearing until it finally settles down. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get things just a little bit smoother input. We definitely are not turned to 750 degrees though, so let's fix that code back. It'd be super sweet if I had a motor that could do that. Oh, that's the lamp reflection off of the screen. Right above the TH. I was like, what is that dot? Because I don't see it in real life. I thought I was seeing like ghosts that could only show up on webcam or whatever. So, all right, we're like 2:15. Let's go up to like 325 and get it up there. Yeah, one of the things with antenna rotators is that they specifically put stops in, because in theory there's a cable wrapped around that goes up to the antenna, and they don't want you to be able to turn it like 6 times or something like that. However, I've thought about going into my rotator because it's just a little metal stop, basically. No, it's an ancient ass AC motor. It's got 2 windings, and you feed those out of phase. One, like, say, just like there's like pin 3 is ground, and then pins 1 and 2 are 24-volt AC inputs. And to rotate it one direction, you put direct power to the one terminal, and then you feed the other terminal AC that's 90 degrees out of phase. So it's like 100 microfarad non-polarized capacitor. And then to make it turn the other direction, you feed pin 2 directly and energize the other one through the capacitor, because capacitors delay AC by a certain amount. So basically feeding the 2 windings out of phase to get it to turn left or right. Mom jokes. I like it. Super classy. 10 minutes. So we'll keep poking around with this a little bit. If the raw, if the difference between the two is greater than 5, it seems to be consistently going up. I wonder. Do we need to like update that previous one here? What's up, Q? Good to see you. I'm going to take these back out because we're getting kind of close to past time. Yeah, it's pretty accurate there right now. So let's see where we need this thing at. That starts out at 324. I was super close. I'll just bump it down a little bit. Should be dead on. And then here's kind of the crappy bit. Right now, I do not have my 70 centimeter radio, which is the band that this satellite downlinks on, hooked up to the mixer. So I think when the pass starts, I'm just gonna literally put the mic over here and we'll try to catch some audio. Don't think I'm gonna try for any contacts, but I suppose I could. So we're 21 degrees below and coming up. So it's coming over the North Pole, over Alaska right now. Just do a quick test, see how this sounds. That should be pretty usable, actually. You'll be able to get the gist of it, see if anybody's actually on. I need my mic here because I've got to manually Doppler correct that radio because it's not hooked up to the computer either. Ah. 18 degrees. Let's see what other passes are coming across here in a bit. XWs. We can maybe tune into one of those. That's a really low pass, and it's kind of late. Actually, yeah, at 9 p.m. we're gonna switch over to shortwave because they got a really cool art project going on this week. They're transmitting slow scan TV and some other stuff via HAARP, which is like 5 billion watts up in Alaska. So we're gonna see what we can do to grab that. 3.6. Yeah, but that's raw power. You gotta factor in antenna gain, and they got like 50, no, they have like 25 or 30 dB gain, I think. So as far as ERP goes, they're up in the billions. But yeah, you're right. It's a few million watts of RF. I heard a couple bloops out of it last night. I was tuned in for just a little bit. But didn't get any full transmissions. Hopefully we'll have better luck tonight. About an hour and a half, something like that. So let's just chill. I'm gonna, just in case I want to transmit and try to make a contact. I'm try to get this radio set up here. Bearing is 326, and this is a little plug-in. And you'll see it automatically control the rotator. Yeah, inverse square is some bullshit. All right, we're at 326. I wish I could have a mic on the relays clicking, because this goes clickety clack 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 when it's spinning the antennas left and right. It's pretty charming, actually. So 3 milliwatts in Denver, that's a huge amount of RF though. My HF radio, the standard for like an intelligible signal is about, we'll say about 1 microvolt into 50 ohms. So you're talking after you account for like feed line impedance and stuff like that, and the fact that it's a 50 ohm radio, 3 milliwatts of RF would absolutely pin the meter on this radio. It'd be huge. So up to negative 11 degrees. We're still looking through the earth a little bit for this sucker. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move the mic over a little bit for the pass. It'll be from 38 to 52 minutes, something like that. And the elevation is not set up right now. The sensor is set up to read it, obviously, which is why it shows at 22 degrees. And it's trying right now to move it down to 0, but it's not even hooked up to the relays, and there's not even a power cable going out to the elevation rotator. Which is, it's fine. It's not cranky about it. It's just, it's trying in vain to rotate the antennas down, and can't do so. So that's why the display is looking a little weird right now. Seven degrees below. All right, I'm gonna move my mic over here. Let's see, can I still talk on that? Yeah, not too bad. Just play with the compressor a little bit. Yeah, set up a tiny remote link here in the here here in the studio. I've actually thought about going to a wireless mic and headset just to make one less wire like that I have to trip on and like get wrapped around myself. It's kind of annoying. All right, about 1 minute to go here. 436.805. Go 804. Yeah. I gotta take a look at some of those because a lot of the Twitch streamers use them, and obviously if they can game well with that latency, there must not be much. So they must be pretty real time. So I gotta check out the headsets a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the camera on the rotator controller so we can watch it spin. Oh, I see how that works. That's actually really cool. Nice. I just realized I can't make contacts because I used this microphone to feed into my uplink radio. Yeah, see how it hunts there? Alright, it's above the horizon, so I'm going to turn the mic on the receiver. Let's see if we can hear anybody for the next, I don't know, 12 minutes or so. 10 minutes, something like that. Maybe. There's something in there.
Golf Yankee Delta, November 13, Kilo 6, Fox Whiskey, Delta Mike 14, thanks for the contact. Hotel 73.
KC4YLV, Delta Mike 79er.
KC4YLV, K6FW.
K6FW, KC4YLV, and Delta Mike 79, thank you.
US Element, Delta Mike 14, 73.
QSL, thank you.
Echo Golf Yankee Delta, November 13. Delta 7, Golf November Papa, Charlie November 87.
I remembered at the last moment that I can just hook up a hand mic to my uplink radio, so let's do this. EGY, go again. CQ Satellite, Kilo Charlie 4, Yankee London Victor, Delta Mike 79.
GMP, Charlie November 87. Yeah, the Charlie November 87 station, Kilo 6 Foxtrot Whiskey. W5PFG, plate, Kilo 6 Fox Whiskey, Delta Mike 14. USL Echo Mike 12, 73. Golf Yankee Delta November 13. 7 7, Echo Golf Yankee, Whiskey 7, Juliet Sierra Delta, Delta Mike 41. 7, Juliet Sierra Delta, I believe it is November 7, Echo Golf Yankee, Delta November 13. USL 73, thanks for the contact. USL.
KC4YLV, Whiskey
5 Papa Fox Golf.
W5PFG, here's Kilo Charlie 4, Yankee London Victor, Delta Mike 79er.
QSL, we're in Echo Mike 1-2 in Texas.
Estación XT1, Michael Alfa Alfa Delta Lima 4 México, buenas noches.
QSL, thank you.
Yankee Delta November 13.
47 Echo Golf Yankee, AJ4A, Echo Mary 77.
Excuse. Alfa Alfa.
7 Echo Golf Yankee Delta November 13.
47 Echo Golf Yankee, 7.
AJ4A, here's Kilo Charlie 4, Yankee Lima Victor, Delta Mike 79er.
León, Guanajuato, México, buenas noches.
AJ4A, Echo Mary 77, QSL.
QSL, thank you.
7 Echo Golf Yankee, AJ4A, Echo Mary 77.
Excuse, Ross.
AJ4A, Kilo 6 Foxtrot Whiskey, Delta Mike 14.
QSL, Kilo 6 Fox Whiskey, QSL, AJ4A, Echo Mary 77.
QSL Echo Mary 77, 73.
Alfa Delta Lima.
A6FW, AA5PK. Hello, Frank.
Habla español.
AA5PK, good evening, Glenn. Kilo 6 Fox Whiskey, Delta Mike 14. Good to hear you.
Yeah, you too.
XT1, Michael Alfa Alfa Delta Lima 90, León, Guanajuato, México, buenas noches. ¿Alguien que habla español?
7 Echo Golf Yankee, AJ4A, Echo Mary 77.
Michael Alfa Alfa Delta Lima 90, León, Guanajuato, México, buenas noches. ¿Alguien que habla español?
A5PK, W5PFG.
Hello, Frank. W5PFG, A5PK. Good to hear you too. Delta Mike 95.
Michael Alfa Alfa Delta Lima 90, León, Guanajuato, México, buenas noches. ¿Hay alguien que hable español? Por favor, responda.
All right, so we managed to crank out a couple of contacts there. I'm gonna have to go back for the playback and actually add stuff into my logbook. So that's what working satellite sounds like. If you noticed, you could hear a little bit of delayed echo. That is my voice leaving the station, going 400 miles up, being repeated, and then going 400 miles down. And that's enough to give like 2 or 3 milliseconds delay, if I recall. So that's why there's kind of a ringy echo thing. It's why you got to use headphones when you play with satellites. So that was surprisingly successful, especially considering that I was manually tuning both radios. But you can see the rotator did its job. Like we started out at what, 325, something like that, and we're now rotated back to like 160 degrees. And it just did its thing and tracked it. And like I said, I don't even have the elevation hooked up yet. So it's just fixed at like 22 degrees. You see it wiggle 22, 24, whatever. It's just because it's bouncing around a little bit. Hey, Dova, good to see you. So yeah, that was surprisingly exciting. I'm very happy with that. So awesome. So that's what it's like to work satellites. It's full duplex. You have to automate everything you possibly can. Preferably like a headset or a desk mic that just automatically keys up when you talk for maximum ease. But there you go. That's what it's like. And there's still a lot of fading. Like even with my much better antennas and stuff like that, you still hear like some deep fading periods. That's because the satellite's tumbling in space. So the antenna orientation changes. So there are things you can do to kind of combat it. Unfortunately, on this particular satellite, because I'm using this radio here, it's hooked up to an antenna that just has vertical elements. It's not the X shape like my other antenna for about 145 megahertz. So I just have to kind of deal with the fades as they happen. There's nothing I can do. But still, that ended up really well. And there was a couple points there where everybody was really clear. So I'm going to have to make up a cable so I can hook this rig up to the mixing board and actually get shit going on with that. So I was very happy with how that turned out. And the little rotator box did its job perfectly. And I'm quite happy with that. So welcome to the world of satellites here on the Zcast. Woo! I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back, maybe play with some code. Might hop on the shortwave band, something like that. But I'm kind of pumped. I got to go jump around for just a minute. So everybody hang tight, and we're going to be right back with hour 2 of our fine Tuesday session here on the Mattyzcast. Stand by. Don't go nowhere. And we are back. Welcome back to hour 2 of the Zcast on a special Tuesday edition. Every Tuesday is special. Oh, the tracking program is still trying to chase the satellite. Yeah, you're a little bit below the horizon, buddy. We can shut you down for now. Don't want to put unnecessary wear and tear on the rotator. So, yeah, I'm going to take a look here and see if any other interesting passes. HAARP time's in 1 hour, according to the schedule, I think. I think there's a link here. Yeah. So that's what HAARP looks like if you're not familiar with it. I want that to be my station. Yeah, we do the shit that Muse writes songs about. Talking on the satellites, listening to HAARP. Yeah, we got all the real shit going. So I think they have a schedule somewhere here. Let's find it. Cool, it's in my history. Let's see, it is Tuesday, March 26th, 2019. And, oh shit, you're right. Okay, let's tune in. Yeah, let's see what we can do. You can tell I've been messing with my radios. Everything's at weird angles here. Let's go down to, I already have it tuned in there. And bring the radio up. Awesome. So they say that they're going to be on a couple of different frequencies. They're not too sure. But the first one listed for each session. So let's see what we can dig up here. 3.20.
This radio ministry is brought to you courtesy of Praise Tower and Prayer Temple.
We got some Jesus radio right next to it.
Pastor Raymond McMahon.
All right. Good call on that. My UTC conversion was off. All right, the hour has rolled over. Sorry, somebody just did a huge burnout on my street, and I just heard this weird rumble, and I was like, what the hell's going on out there? Alright. It's supposed to be AM, but... Nope. There we go. That might be the carrier. I'm gonna just listen to the carrier here. Yeah, that's gotta be it. It's too dead on to 1,000 hertz. So we're at 3201 and we're on the lower sideband. So subtract this from the carrier frequency on the radio. That makes sense. That's definitely a man-made signal there. That's not like a power supply or anything. They're not actually trying to transmit information right now. They're just basically warming it up. Wolves chasing the ghost. I like it. Cool. We have a slow scan coming up about 20 minutes after the hour. So let's just see what's going on here. I'll switch antennas. Just curious to see.
The latest one is like LeBron's made first team All-NBA 10 years in a row.
That's not actually information. That's a local AM radio station overloading. It's at like 1600. Second harmonic. Yeah. Yeah, there was some sports talk BS there. This antenna that we're currently on doesn't generally pick up the AM stations overloading like that, so I'm pretty sure that this is actually legit. Bring that down a little bit. I don't think it's going to be too exciting here for a few more minutes. Then things get really going here. So let's see. This will go for a few more minutes. Magnetic Zenith, Eric Lewis. So I think they're trying to literally generate some aurora up in the atmosphere. Because if you look at the like auroral maps, generally the kind of order of magnitude of power needed to make northern lights is in the few gigawatt range. So I'm pretty sure that they can just make their own aurora on command with this array. So I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to do here. They're just pumping straight carrier RF to cause the sky to light up. Way up by the magnetic North Pole, basically. Look at the other frequencies and see. Yeah, we're gonna need to hop around a little bit here. Not with a bang, but with a whisper. Whisper is a low power, long distance, very low bit rate data stream. We basically use it as a beacon. So like in 2 minutes you can transmit your call sign, basically. Extremely low, like 0.1 character per second, something like that. I didn't even know that they were doing whisper later, so we'll try that. But that's how they're finishing it up here at the end. So let's see here. Oh, this one's cool. So they have 2 different antennas that they can set up here. And when I say antenna, I mean array of a dozen or a couple dozen antennas. And they're going to be doing split transmissions here, where they send slow scan TV towards Russia and then narration towards DC. That'll be interesting. Cross modulations of slow scan TV. I'm curious about that one. Curious about all these, obviously, but they got some cool things going on here. I'll go ahead and post the link so y'all can see with a little bit higher res what we're dealing with here. Yeah, that absolutely has to be them right now. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've seen it a couple times, mainly when I was like up in my homeland, which is the Michigan UP. I saw a few glowy, snaky type things up there. It's pretty rare that it would dive down to that low of a latitude, but definitely saw it a couple times when I was a kid. I've actually made contact using Aurora too. You can bounce RF off of it when it's happening. So if it dips low enough and like there's Aurora over the midpoint between you and the other station, you can bounce your signal off of it, and it's really interesting because it gets a very raspy tone. Basically, like, even if you're just sending Morse code, like, instead of the normal beep, 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 it sounds like somebody, like, keying a chainsaw, basically. It's very, like, very interesting, and it's very difficult to understand human speech when you're bouncing it off of there, because the fields are constantly shifting, and it's very high energy, and it kind of modulates whatever signals you're bouncing off of it, but it's absolutely possible. People tend to like Morse code more for working Aurora. Usually happens on 6 meters, so around 50 megahertz, 50. But I've heard a few contacts, and I've made one, and it was very difficult. I'd like to go really far north sometime. Whenever I was a kid, I'd be, looking at a map or the globe or anything like that, I was always fascinated by basically, like, everything in northern Canada, all of Alaska, like, the far northern latitudes just fascinate me. I've always been just intensely curious about what's going on up there. It must be really strange to have, like, your day-night cycles be all messed up and stuff like that, and just, you see crazy things and you hear crazy things, and some people say that you go crazy if you live up there too long, so, pretty interesting. Alright, so that signal is now gone at exactly 1,000 hertz. Okay, so now we need to be at either 3.35 or 2.80, right? Or 2.82. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to set 2 radio memories, basically. We're going to go down to 2.82. Spotify, get the fuck out of here. I accidentally hit the play button. Alright, we gotta go. Oh, wait a second. 3.35, not 3.335. That's gotta be it. Yep, dead on 1,000 hertz. So we got this one right here. Right here. And then the other one is 2.82. Switch to upper sideband. Yeah, you can see it there too. That's HAARP. It's coming right across. Where is HAARP? Zoom out, zoom out. It's right there. So this one's coming in very well here. That's a lot of RF pumping through the atmosphere and the ionosphere right now. Normally, it'd be very difficult to hear anything this far at this frequency at this time of day. Localized entirely in our kitchen. Sorry, I had to finish that one out. Oh shit, here's something. No. So it's going for another few seconds. I love it. That is absolutely them cranking out some sort of wideband signal. It's beautiful though, isn't it? So this should end in 10 seconds, if we really are tuned in. How about that? Alright, so in a few more seconds, we're going to stay on here. And then we're going to see what this one is, because we seem to be picking up pretty well on 3350, as we call it. Yep, there they are again. Oh, you can definitely see. Is this some sort of like cross modulation thing? Or? You can definitely see some traces there. They're like injecting carriers. This one's coming in way better. Which is interesting because they're beaming west with this. try to suck out that 1K tone, because I know it's kind of annoying to listen to. But still, though, this is pretty fascinating. I think I can make the waterfall pop a little bit more. So they're just injecting various tones into the transmitter and kind of seeing what happens with that. I think. We should still get some information on the sidebands without having to listen to that tone, though. Yeah, there you go. So they're purposely kind of overdriving the transmitters here to generate kind of harmonics and stuff like that. Keep in mind, this is an art project, basically. So all this is done basically by an artist looking to use the capabilities of the transmitters to generate unexpected patterns and stuff like that. Oh, nice. That's fine. I'd rather you have a radio than not have a radio, you know what I mean? You see the little pitch shifts? Yeah, that's kind of the curse, is you got to make your own party in a lot of situations, in a lot of areas. Yeah, it's possible that there's just a bunch of dead repeaters around. I mean, here in Denver, we have like literally 130 or so repeaters that I can hit from my house. Maybe 10 of them get used. But conversely, it's, you know, generally they don't care if you just like start talking to people on one. The problem is to find out who to talk to and all that, but stick with it. Take a better sample, you know, over a little bit of time, and see if there's a little bit more activity, maybe certain times of the day, times of the week, so on. All right. Now we got some slow scan coming up, which should be interesting. 22:30. So 1 minute from now. Oh, excellent. Well, I'm glad to know you got a little bit of a resource locally, at least. I know it's tough to get things started with nothing but people in a chat room, you know what I mean? But sounds like you got at least a little bit of resources you can play with there. Check the other frequency. Alright, I think they're in between movements now. Yeah. So let's see, at 30 seconds we should hear something. I'm not going to set up my calendar's windows. Fuck you. 3350 and 2820. This one's coming in better now. Yeah, we're hearing the carrier very well. It's basically 0 hertz now that we're down 1 kilohertz on the radio. One difficult thing about this is that it's coming up on thunderstorm season, and this is the band where thunderstorms propagate their lightning really, really far, to the point that this band, for like shortwave broadcasts and stuff like that, traditionally is called the tropical band. Because it works better there. There's slow scan. There we go, we're getting it. Mm-hmm. Does it look like a skull to y'all? Nice. Oh, hell yes. I think it looks like a light bulb. Oh, this is good. Yeah, that's some interesting imagery right there. Nice. So they specifically say this is cross modulations of slow scan images. So I think that they're kind of overlaying two things. Yeah, that was that Goatsy. Oh god. Can we just repurpose HAARP instead of doing weird, like, weather control shit to just crank out cool slow scan stuff once a week? I'm using Scotty 1. Nice slow format. If it wasn't so damn staticky, we'd have pretty high res here. It's like some sort of test pattern or something, it looks like. I'm gonna try to turn my attenuator on after this. See if maybe we can pull out better signal to noise ratio. See if that does anything. I actually like looking at it in the thumbnail on Streamlabs because it's like, it's much smaller. Yeah, I've got everything saved. I'll post them on the Twitter or something. But yeah, absolutely. It auto saves everything. Yeah. I think this is the last one. It's about 33 minutes is the next movement. We need to switch frequency pretty quickly here. 4.4 or 4.5. Yeah, it is different. Alright, let's move. That is actually not HAARP. I know what that is. That is wave height radar. Yeah, I thought about rolling out an official Mattyzcast Twitter. I'm not sure. Not quite sure what I want to do yet. I kind of like just my call sign Twitter. This is voice. So we're on west right now. So this is the phonetic alphabet a few times, and they're just 100. Yeah, it sounds like kind of French or something, doesn't it? This is absolutely a frickin' number station. Hell yeah. You're right, yeah. It's English. They just sound... yeah. So we got that one. Let's see. I'm gonna try. This one's in there. Doesn't seem as strong though. Plus we have that wave height radar that's doing sweeps trying to get wave height measurements. That's kind of fucking it up. Spooky voice is making me sneeze. So we're going to do better on the west array here, up at 39 minutes. And the west array is doing slow scan.
7, 8, 5.
Oops. 6-1, yeah. It's gonna be great if this is actually what gets us alien contact. And they're like, hey dude, we got your shit post, but it was just a couple of skulls and a satellite dish, and you counting to 100. You okay, bro? Yeah, nice. Spooky as hell. 2 minutes until the next one fires up. And we'll go for the slow scan images on this one. And the east is on 6.90. Interesting, 6.9 to 7 megahertz is the most common pirate radio shortwave band. There's still a lot of transmitters that fire up just for a couple hours on like Friday afternoon or something. Broadcast some old rock and roll. But 6.9 is an interesting pick. I'm curious to see how well that one will come in, because we're moving up in frequency here. We started out at like 3.5. Now we're at 4.5. These waves do bounce differently than the ones lower down, and then we're gonna go even up higher after the next movement. I might do a special offline session and go for I guess the 28th. Yeah, it's kind of a weird time for the stream. I may see if I can hop on for one of the next 2 sessions though, and just do an offline recording, maybe post it as a VOD or something. All right. So we should have more slow scan coming in now. In about 10 seconds. This is fascinating. This is very cool. Contact this artist and tell her how much you dig this shit. Maybe we can get some sequels going on. Oh wait, is this the yeah, they're telling a story here. Easter egg. Interesting. Oh, here we go. That's blasting in. Oh, this shit's so spooky. Trying to figure out what it is. Oh, I'm absolutely getting a QSL card off this. Thanks for mentioning that. Is it a fish? Interesting. You guys cheating. Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at the page where they had the originals posted or something. Just a giant picture of Jordan Peterson. Clean your room. Oh, nice. I'd imagine they'd want to do a little bit of obfuscation, a little bit of, you know, because the whole point of the project isn't what they're transmitting, it's what everybody's receiving. Clean your room. Beep boop. Also, women are hysterical and generally inferior to males. Oh, this one's pretty good. It's really interesting to kind of look at this stuff while realizing that it's being interfered with by that wave height radar, which I don't think they intended for it. But it's yet another, like, kind of like an artistic vibe. Just using, like, found sounds. And in this case, like, found RF in the environment That looks like a MacBook Pro that somebody's throwing into a lake. It's true, he does. Don't fuck with Mr. Despair. His entire job is nothing but test chambers. Oh yeah. Looks like somebody setting off like a mortar or a rocket or something. That one's pretty good copy. All right. I think that's the last one. All right. So I'm going to go for the Easter Ray 6.9. Alright. And then let's go to 5.1. Oh wow. Oops. What could that be? Looks like a military man handing a giant bong to an alien. Take me to your dealer. We got that one. Yeah, I was feeling like old and military and something. But yeah, I'm totally on the same vibe with you, Farm Dizzle, for sure. Definitely a dude doing something. Some sort of computer terminal, I think. Yeah. That one's good. I like it. I'll post these up in a little library on my blog and post a link on the stream site. Yeah, this one's coming across a little cleaner though. Yeah. Makes sense. Scotty 1 takes about 2.5 minutes or something like that. I don't know if they would be able to figure out what the hell's going on with them. We can try. Okay, this is going till 56. Oh yeah, sure is. Man, I should have planned ahead and set up 2 HF receivers on separate antennas and panned them hard left and right. Didn't even think about it. It's okay. I think we're going to wrap it up at the top of the hour after they're done with the transmission. I'm really excited. I'm glad we got it out of the way at 8 though instead of 9. I was planning to just stall out and basically play HF digital. But again, I'm kind of tired tonight. Especially after this. This is super exciting. And then working those satellite contacts? Hell yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's why I built that rotator box. Because, yeah, you absolutely have to be completely on point. And that was really difficult because I was listening to the downlink on this radio, which is going through the microphone and the mix board, so it wasn't really good audio. Normally, this radio that we're on right now is my downlink radio, where I'm listening to the satellite. And that's easier because it's a direct connection. So I gotta wire things up, basically, but by the next stream or two, I should have things, like, ready to go. But yeah, don't expect me to like chit chat and BS while we're trying to work a satellite pass. I've got to listen, and you got to time things just right, most definitely. Last one here. Then after that, we're going to try to pick this whisper up. See if I can be really quick on starting a program and getting it working in 30 seconds. Matter of fact, this has to get closed. Yep. They scheduled this pretty tightly. So 30 seconds after the top of the hour. Alright. Oh, I gotta fix it now. They are on 3.20. Should hear something now. Oh, they're just sending CW. And they're done. Sorry, I wanted to keep my mouth shut because I realized when it was CW and not Whisper, because there's actually a digital mode called Whisper, and since they named it that, I suspected that it was going to be a transmission using the Whisper mode, but it was an artistic naming of it. Anyways, I wanted to keep my mouth shut because I'm going to have a recording of this and I'm going to go back and actually decode it. I need to figure out the speed. It's really hard to decode CW if you don't know how fast it's being sent. So I've got that recorded, which is why I was all shh. So interesting, fascinating. Well, thank you all for joining me on this one. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I think some people are tapering off a little bit, and oh gosh, we had an exciting night. Lots of space, lots of spooky images and voices bouncing off the ionosphere. I had a really good time. Yeah, that was super cool, super exciting. Who was it? Dova Amras. I am glad that you got a little HT. Don't give up yet. Talk to your local resources and find out who's on the air and what's going on there. We're going to see you guys in 2 short days, and I'm going to have a bunch of new gadgets to play with. We're going to wire up a new power supply for all my network gear. Got all kinds of cool stuff on deck. Let's go ahead and call it a good evening, a very good evening. Thanks everybody for joining me. Hopefully they'll do more of these experiments over time. Because, you know, if HAARP really is for frickin' weather control or whatever, I'd rather it be used for strange art projects than, you know, trying to cause lightning storms in the Middle East or something. So, anyways, next stream is going to be 7 p.m. Thursday. That's 1 a.m. Friday, UTC. If you don't know how to convert UTC to local, find out, because you're going to need it on this stream. For the next 46 hours, go forth and have fun with the soldering irons and the radios, and we'll circle around in just a couple of days and see where everybody's at. So I'm Matty Zed. This is the Mattyzcast. I wish you all a good evening and happy DX, 7-3s, all those silly things. We'll catch up with you in a couple days. Peace out. Later.
Thank you.